Good day, everybody. Rob here with WesternPacificWeather.com. It is currently the 13th of April, 2011, and out there in the Western Pacific right now, as far as any significant weather, actually fairly quiet out there, so we're going to run over this. And down in Australia real quick before I get into an earthquake assessment out here, we're still seeing some fairly active seismic activity out here. As far as anything tropical, though, just had a little burst of convection here in north of Palau, not expecting anything really to develop out of that due to a lot of suppression coming out of the Westpac High here, which is shown on this streamline analysis here, just showing the upper level jet really dominating up in here, all these troughs and ridges kind of still influencing the transition season up here from to basically winter into summer. So we're still seeing basically highs and lows kind of run over Honshu and much of Japan recently. We just had a low pressure move over Hokkaido today and is going to run off towards the east, another high starting to ridge in, and basically this whole Westpac High ridging in all of Okinawa down towards the Philippines here. Here showing a little burst of convection right around Palau, that little positive vorticity in the green right in here. Could see some enhanced precipitation down north towards Mindanao, but most of Luzon's actually going to be dominated by the Westpac High right in here, leaving it fairly dry here over the next several days. All models still continue to pick up on this with fair weather out throughout the next 76 hours. And moving down under, though, we still have this invest down here, 92 Sierra and 93 Papa lingering out here near the Solomon Islands. Gotta continue to watch this one right in here. None of the models are really picking up on any development of this, including GFS and NOGAP, some two primary ones I like to use out here. And the European model really just kind of picks up on a burst of convection out here, but there is very widespread, very disorganized nonetheless, but very widespread over from all the way from New Caledonia here all the way up towards Papua New Guinea. You have all this convection all associated with the monsoonal trough. Still seeing sea surface temperatures above 80 degrees here, so once we start to get a little bit less wind shear associated with this cold front extending all the way from basically Queensland all the way down to New Zealand right in here, we could see a little bit more development out of this. I'm not expecting anything like cyclone activity out of it. Nonetheless, though, we could see some increased precipitation over much of Queensland as this starts to drift off towards the west with the monsoonal trough. And also looking at this other invest here just off the Western Territory, very disorganized and not expecting anything to develop out of that. Yet we continue to watch it, though, just because of the ingredients in the area with the high sea surface temperature and the moderate to low vertical wind shear. But as far as Australian weather, check out my friend Solar Watcher's YouTube channel. He has many really good Australian weather updates down there, so just check that out. But out here in the Western Pacific, actually having this high pressure kind of drifting off towards the east here, but it's really kind of just dominating and influencing the weather. And as it drifts off towards the east over the next 24 hours, I'm actually expecting it to stop, basically centered around Iwilto here just south of Honshu, and dominating the weather pattern here over the next several days. So really not expecting anything too significant to develop, even from the transition season all the way up here in the north. Only expecting lows to run over Hokkaido, those migratory systems. And as far as the northeast monsoon, that's really going to be dominating down here, and no tropical activity expected. And on that note, moving on to the geology side of the house here, up in on Honshu area, we're still continuing to watch these earthquakes up here. Have a couple aftershocks today, actually, right around the 4 to 5 range here off of Chiba, basically from the 6.0 that occurred there yesterday. And up here towards the Fukushima area, still continuing to see aftershocks after the 6.4 up there. Overall, though, on this map, we see 73 earthquakes, 5 or greater in the past week, actually, and that's still significantly higher than normal. But if we look back onto the 12th and the 15th of March, specifically the 15th of March, that would be 4 days after the huge earthquake, the 9.0 out here, 483 earthquakes on this map, basically a 5.0 or greater, all these occurring mostly off the northeast Honshu region from the Miyagi prefecture up to the Fukushima prefecture, and this entire area right in here. We did have some couple of outliers here out northeast of Kanazawa. We continue to see occasional earthquakes pop up there, and this one actually caught us all off guard back right after the initial earthquake, kind of just off southwest of Tokyo in here, and that actually pretty much shook much of this region up here all along the Kanagawa and Tokyo prefecture, so a lot of people felt that one. But as I was already stating, though, this is much higher than normal, obvious. This being the total number of earthquakes 5.0 or greater throughout the entire year, noting that up here around the Kuril Islands, that's where we kind of see that spike at, basically 7 or more per year, 5.0 or greater, and all the way down here only see about 3 to 4, and as you can already see, we're up in the hundreds right now. Basically, this is from USGS's number of earthquakes per year, magnitude 5 or greater all depths, and kind of see your numbers over here. So that's just kind of the comparison of what you typically see and what we're seeing right now. So significantly high, unprecedented event, and we're continuing to feel the earth shake daily out here in Japan. For example, here just showing the list of current earthquakes as of here on the 13th of April. We continuing to see a 4.7 off the east coast of Honshu, and then you scroll down here, you actually see all these fives fairly deep here, all below, most of them below 30 kilometers. So that's actually fairly deep. You don't even feel them out here. But as we scroll down, though, we have yesterday's 6.0 and the 6.2. Both of these kind of rocked much of Japan. We felt them both, and also fairly shallow at 10 and 13 kilometers deep. Then you also had this one right around 6 kilometers deep, but not really too strong, about 5.2 magnitude. And as you continue to see, if I scroll through here, you still have all these aftershocks in the 4 and 5 range, and occasionally you'll have these larger ones, 6.6, popping up. So we still continue to see these larger earthquakes, but we continue to see the smaller ones. Smaller ones, at least due to the geology of Japan, you really don't feel most of these 4s and 5s. So that's kind of the good news as coming out. But that is all for today, everybody. Thanks once again for listening. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can always post them here at westernpacificweather.com or post them on the YouTube channel. And like I already stated, if you're down in Australia and want a kind of a more detailed weather update, please check out Solar Watch's channel there as well. And lastly, I'm making a few more updates to the website today. Really haven't worked on it in about a month, so I'm actually going to add some really great tsunami footage that I found online here, and also just kind of adding a few more things and trying to make the overall site much more easier to navigate. I know the front page is really high on bandwidth right now, so I'm going to try to figure out this situation. So once again, thank you for listening, and I hope everybody has a great day out there.